It's your Bloomberg brief on this Monday morning. OPEC Plus is
futures down 4.5% overnight. Stocks plunging.
A very special guest this morning. Paul Tudor Jones is here. He's the founder and chief investment officer.
Paul Tudor Jones is one of the most successful traders of all time.
My name is Chuck Whitman, and I build great traders that lead great lives. Traders I've trained have generated in excess of $1 billion in trading revenue and are found in some of the largest proprietary trading firms and hedge funds in the United States. Tip number 21, the 5-to-1 rule. I'm looking for 5-to-1 reward to risk. 5-to-1 means I'm risking $1 to make 5. What 5-to-1 does is it allows you to have a hit ratio of 20%. I can actually be a complete imbecile. I can be wrong 80% of the time, and I'm still not going to lose. I told you today I would give you the greatest of all the tips. I told you today I would give you a tip that could radically change your trading. Well, this is it. One of Paul's primary rules is that Paul never, ever, ever takes a trade that he can't make at least 4 times his risk, and it's almost always 5 times. So what he's saying is when you're right, you make $5 when you make a trade. Well, over the course of 10 trades, if you had 8 trades that lost, you lost $1 in each of those 8 trades, you'd be down $8. And on the 2 remaining trades, you made $5. You made 5 times your risk on both trades. You'd make $10 on your wins while you lost $8 on your losses. So even though you were wrong 80% of the time, you are still up money. If you can have the discipline to only take trades that you can make 5 times or more what you risk, it will dramatically change your trading. What's really interesting is that when people want to improve their trading, they always look at how can I increase my win rate? How can I be right more often? They're asking the wrong question. If you really want to improve the performance of your trading, you don't increase your win rate, you increase the size of your winners. Oftentimes when I work with students, the suggestion I'll have for them when I look at their data is that you actually need to lose more. You need to be wrong a higher percentage of the time. And in return, you go for bigger winning trades. So there might be a trade that somebody's up $1 in a stock and they could say, well, I'll take it and I get a win. My win percentage will go up. But then they'll watch that stock go up $10 without them. For you to be able to have larger wins, you're going to need to stay in your positions longer. This means that you're going to have trades that are making money initially, but they will fall apart and turn to a loss. But that's okay, because the ones that do not fall apart have the potential to make much more money. So I'll have a student give me their trade sample. And let's say their sample has an expectancy of 20 cents. This means that for every $1 they bet, they expect to make 20 cents. And that's a mediocre system. That's mediocre performance, 20 cents. So one of the first things I'll do is I'll go through and I'll just sort. Only show me the trades that have the potential to make 3 times or more what their risk is. And then I'll look at the performance. And usually it goes up. Now if I go to what Paul says and I raise it to 5 times, let's only look at the trades that you can make 5 times or more what you risk. And universally, do you know what I see? Their expectancies explode. They might have had an expectancy of 20 cents, but if I just limit them to the 5-to-1 trades, their expectancy will go from 20 cents to $1. And I'll look at a sample, they might have 100 trades. And if we limit it to only trades that could make 5 times or more, the sample might go from 100 to 30 trades. Like we literally cut out 70% of the trades. But guess what? The performance is the same. They're making the same amount of money on 30 trades that they made on 100. That means that the average profit per trade is exploding. Another way of thinking of this is that 70% of their trades are for 0. All that time, all that effort, all that stress for nothing. If we can have the discipline to only take trades that we know that we can make 5 times or more. This does a number of things for us. It reduces our trade frequency, which lowers our stress. Because we reduce our frequency, it gives us more time to make sure that we manage each position to its optimal outcome. And this is one of the reasons that I love options so much. Because when we have time, we can use different option structures. We can choose different option structures as the trade unfolds, and we can manage the trade much better. So we have a situation that we're making less trades with less stress and managing the trades at a higher level. The next thing it does is it makes you really choosy. You have trade A and trade B. Well, trade A could make 2 times my risk and trade B can make 6 times my risk. Well, trade A is going to be a distraction. It's choosing the lesser outcome. So if we can just be disciplined, we choose trade B. And this shifts everything. As I said, everybody is looking at how they increase their win rate. And if they could increase their win rate, that would give them the optimal system. So let's look at a trading strategy that, if you're right, makes 1 time what you risk. So if I bet $1 and I'm right, I make $1. Okay, now we take this strategy and let's say we're right 80% of the time. And let's say they have 10 trades. Well, in 8 trades, they made $1, and in 2 trades, they lost $1. So they net made $6. Divide by 10 trades, that'd be 60 cents. That's the expectancy. They'd expect to make 60 cents for every dollar that they bet. And 60 cents is a pretty good strategy. Well, let's take that and let's push it to perfection. Let's say that we're right on every trade. So in 10 trades, we make $1 on 10 trades. So net we make $10 divided by 10 trades gives us an expectancy of $1. Expect to make it $1 for every dollar we bet. That's perfection. Well, what I want you to see is with the 5-to-1 rule that Paul uses, you can do way better than perfection. So in the example that Paul's talking about, when we're right, we make $5. And when we're wrong, we lose $1. Okay, so now let's go and let's say we're right half the time. So let's go look at our 10 trades. We bet $1 for every trade. 5 of them are losers. So we lose $5 on those 5 trades. 5 of the trades are winners and they make $5 per trade. So those 5 trades make $25. So we had $25 for our winners, $5 from our losers. We're net up $20. Take $20 and divide by 10 trades, and we get an expectancy of $2. Now remember, the system that was perfect had an expectancy of $1. But using the way that Paul trades and the way that I trade, the expectancy is $2. It is double perfection. So how would this practically play out? Because you're like, well, if I was right all the time, I would just bet everything. But that's not how life works. Let's say that you have this system and you're going to play it over 10 stocks. So let's say I have $10,000. Well, I take $1,000 and I put it into each one of those 10 stocks. They all make money, so I make $10,000. I bet $1,000, I make $1,000 each, I make $10,000. I have a choice. I have limitations of how much capital I can allocate. So I have to make choices of where that money goes. And let's take the same $10,000. And again, we're going to allocate $1,000 to each of the 10 stocks. And the ones that are right, we make 5 times what we risk. So we make $5,000. The ones that were wrong, we lose $1,000. On the system that is wrong half the time, we make $20,000. And on the system that was perfect, we make $10,000 on the same capital allocation. This is why Paul trades this way. So I've shared this tip with you, this tip that can radically change your trading. And you know what's so fascinating? Is that I show people this tip and they don't do it. I show them this tip and they can't do it. And why is that? What they want from the market is not actually to make money. There's another agenda that's going on inside their head. And it's limiting them from being the best that they can be. I help people address this. I have a really simple next step for you. We have a trader type assessment that you can take that really will give you insights into how you are wired as a trader, what your strengths are, what you struggle with. And this assessment can give you a roadmap for where you should focus, how you should think about your trading in a way that you can succeed. And guess what? It's free. You can take the assessment by clicking on the link below now. Some of you have heard this before, and maybe it's a great reminder for you to go back and focus on it. And for some of you, this is brand new. This is something you've never heard of. One of the things you're going to find is that it's funny, my friend Jeremy, who helped me put this video together, when I was explaining to him the concept, it's funny what he said to me. He's like, it's like the way you talk about things with trading and investing. It's like you talk about that, like gravity doesn't exist, and what should be up is actually down. He's like, you come at it from such a different frame. The idea that being wrong more would actually help you make more money. And that's what this tip is about. It's very unconventional. It's not about being right. It's about making money. So we mentioned this assessment. This is something new that we just put out. And I want to, I'm going to show you the link for this. We'll put this in the chat. It's in the chat where you can click on the link to be able to take the assessment yourself. This is something I recommend that all of you do. And it's going to help give you a roadmap of how you are wired as a trader. This is really important because you need to trade in a way that's congruent with who you are. If you try and trade in some other way that's different than how you're made, that's different than your strengths, that's different than your genius, it's going to be a really hard road. And more than that, it's not going to be fun. We want trading to be something that helps you make a lot of money, but also helps bring you a lot of joy and a lot of intellectual stimulation. So this assessment will help you do that. So you can click on the link. And I also want to just talk briefly. When you look at these 21 tips, not just today's tip, but if you look at all 21, one of the things that you're going to see is there is psychology all over all of them. In many respects, if you look at what he was doing, if you look at how he trades, he looks at things differently than other people. He doesn't have a magic indicator. He doesn't have a magic strategy. He just thinks differently. And one of the things that he's talked about, I've heard him talk about personally when I've been with him, is the idea that one of his strengths is the ability to take pain in a way that the average person cannot. His ability to sit in massive discomfort and still do what he says he's going to do. And what's interesting about this is a lot of times people think of this in the context of having a big loss and feeling the pain of the loss and riding it out. That's not what he does. Ironically, the discomfort that he describes goes back to the 5-to-1 rule. And how is this? Many of the trades that he lays out that have a 5-to-1 or greater reward to risk at the time he sets them up, he puts them on and they start working. And he's up 2R, he's up 3R, and he gets those same inklings that you do. Those same fears arise in him that arise in you, which is like, I'm up 3R in this trade, and I'm scared that it's going to go back to break even. I'm scared that it's going to go back to a loss. So the average person, the average trader, uses that as an excuse to take profits. They use it as an excuse to close the trade. There's that phrase, you'll never go broke taking a winner. That's how you go broke. You do go broke by taking winners. And when he's talking about the ability to sit in massive pain, what he's talking about is when he's up 2R and every fiber in his body tells him to get out. Every fiber in his body tells him to peel the position. He's like, no, I'm going to fucking sit in this for the full 5R. I will not be shook. I will not be scared. Because if I take the trade off at 2R, I destroy the math that the whole premise of my trading is built on. If you lay out 5R winners and you take the profits at 1R, you just destroyed the math of what you built. And it will lay the road to mediocrity for you. He understands this and he will not budge. That's what he means with his ability to sit in pain and stick to the plan. Well, this is about psychology. That's what this is really about. And we look at all 21 tips, we see a different way of doing things. We see a different psychology. At the highest level, it's very interesting. We think like the best traders in the world, we think they have some secret sauce that nobody else has. Reality is what they do is they think better. That's what they do. They're not bound by their fear. They're very focused on what they want. They stay very focused on what they want, and then they're flexible that maybe there's a better path to get what they want. So this brings us into this whole concept. When you understand your trader type and you understand how you're wired, then you can start to create your trader identity. And we refer to this pyramid. This is a hierarchical pyramid of beliefs. And I want you to notice how it's built. At the top is environmental beliefs. And you literally have thousands of environmental beliefs. Most of them are irrelevant. Then you have behavioral beliefs about how you should behave in certain situations and should I shake somebody's hand or should I say hello or should I say thank you? These are behavioral beliefs. Then we have capability beliefs around what are my talents? What are my geniuses? What am I good at? What am I bad at? Then there's our values. Our values are the things that are important to us. Well, I want you to notice that as we go down in the pyramid, it's like a funnel, right? It's an inverse pyramid. There are less and less beliefs. And we get down to the identity level, you actually have very few beliefs about who you are. But the beliefs about who you are drive your values, drive your capability, drive your behavior. And so it's getting this right is a massive game changer. When you get right at the identity level, massive change happens. I've seen traders literally shift in a week, in a month at the identity level and go from being decent traders or break-even traders to massively profitable traders when they got the identity piece right. So I also want you to notice that below the identity beliefs, this is not a popular topic for some people, but the reality is what your spiritual beliefs are have a major impact on who you think you are. If you think God exists, that's going to have one impact on you. If you think God is a fake and an atheist, that God is not real, it's going to have another set of impact on your beliefs. This is important to understand too. And at the spiritual level, you have very, very few beliefs. All right. So here's the table that we went through. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I just wanted to show you. This is an email that Paul basically sent me and a colleague of mine. And it's got the 7 points that he said are key to being great at trading. Now, the first one relates to being a fund manager. And in a fund game, he says, make it and take it. If payout is annual, where you start every year becomes a line where losses are treated radically different from the drawdown of profits. Basically, the premise here is that you should fight like crazy to protect your initial capital, and you should be very aggressive with your profits. You shouldn't be afraid to lose your profits. You should be very afraid to lose your initial capital. But notice number 2, reward to risk should be 4-to-1 in general. So he'll say 4-to-1 minimum, 5-to-1 usually. Notice number 3, every position should start with a stop and an objective, and all open positions also have a stop and an objective. And stops must be respected at all times. Look at number 4, each trade is separate and it is unique, and it should be viewed as such. Any other bullshit stops the blocking, it blocks the effective risk management of the position. So what he's saying is each position needs to be managed. It needs to have a plan. That plan needs to be followed. And anything besides that is just a bullshit story you're telling yourself. Look at number 5, counter trend trading is for losers. Fading trends, fading moves is for losers. And this is especially ironic because Paul is famous. Especially in the early days, he was famous for fading moves. And I talked about that in one of the tips. Look at number 6, 5 great ideas make every year, and they're all trend trades. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Why does this matter? When you look at congestion trades or you look at trend fading trades, the R's associated with a congestion trade or a trend fade trade tend to be low. Not to say you can't get a big R, but in general, they tend to be lower. So if I'm buying at the bottom of a trading range, and let's just say for argument's sake, I got a market that's trading in a range, and I've got a support level down here, and I basically set up trades where I go long at support, and then I know I've got a resistance level up here at the top of the range. And so I get long and I take the trade basically up to the top of the range and I exit. These tend to be smaller trades. These tend to be 1R, 2R trades. Same with trend fading. When you fade a trend, the trade is typically over when you revert to the mean. So the reversion to the mean may not be very much. That's a lot different than when we get long making new highs. When we get long making new highs, notice there's no ceiling. That trade can run for a very long time. That trade may be able to run for days, weeks, months, even years. So that's where a big part of that line comes from, that 5 great ideas make every year. One of the things I typically see when I go, this is an important one, when I sit down with a trader, if I look at all their trades, let's say they have 100 trades, what I'll notice is that the top 10 trades equal their P&L. Their top 10 trades equal their P&L. So if those are 3R, 4R winners, they'll have a nice profit. If they're 10R, 20R winners, they'll make a ton of money. And then the last point, expanding VAR, that's value at risk on a drawdown. It's basically what he's saying is averaging down, buying and buying lower is a great way to go broke. Buying and buying lower, selling and selling higher is a great way to go broke. Okay. So some of you have worked with me, you know I'm really big on the idea of planning. This is one of my favorite quotes from Bobby Knight. The will to win is highly overrated. In the midst of battle, so just think of it differently, right? When you sit down to trade, the will to make money when you trade is highly overrated. Because when everybody sits down to trade, what do they want to do? They want to make money. Everybody does that. It is the willingness to prepare to trade that makes all the difference. And in preparing for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning itself is indispensable. The very act of planning prepares us to win, even if the particulars of the plan change on the fly. That was from Dwight Eisenhower. So I want to share with you a really cheap and simple way that if you are looking to improve your psychology, can be really helpful. And this is called our Matrix Mindset Mashup. In the Matrix Mindset Mashup, we teach you a fast and effective way that you can get into peak state when you trade. That will help you trade at a higher level. And you can do it in 30 seconds. We're going to teach you ways that you can basically shock your psychology that sabotages you and your success. And to be able to do it quickly without years of therapy or any woo-woo nonsense. We're going to teach you how to guarantee that you never lose your shirt, that you never blow out, that you never take a large drawdown due to emotional trading. We're going to show you how to achieve goals that you once believed were impossible without adding any more time or headaches to your plate. We're going to show you how to effortlessly overcome any challenge in the matter of seconds using a simple framework that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives. We're going to teach you how to avoid the fatal flaws of failed traders that lead you to being filled with regret and beating yourself up. We're going to teach you how to quickly rewire your trading entity to drive explosive profits. This next one's a big one. We're going to teach you how to stop wasting time in front of the monitor. One of my big beliefs is the more time you spend in front of the screen, the worse you'll trade. If you stare at the screen all the time, I guarantee you're making psychological errors and you're not trading at the best of your capability. And lastly, we'll teach you how to generate a decade of trading results every 90 days. We're going to teach you a frame that can basically bend how you look at financial freedom. So there's two components of this course of the mashup. There is the trader psychology component. We go over why you're a trader, the explosive earnings formula, how to make quantum leaps in your performance, how to achieve impossible goals, the characteristics of traders who fail, the infinite wealth trader, identity, the key to massive transformation, the most important factor in your trading success, and the have-do-be principle. These are all on the psychological side. And then we have the tactical side. We talk about how to create an early morning success ritual, how to create a nighttime success ritual, the one trading tactic that's the difference between success and failure, how to get to peak trading state, the 6 B's of becoming a great trader, the ABC secrets of preventing overtrading, understanding dilemma versus choice in your trading, overcoming fear in your trading, and psychological framing and how to be non-attached to your ideas. Some amazing tools inside this course. You'll have 60 days of access when you purchase this course, and it's all for $199. The link is right here if you want to get going on this. This offer expires basically 11/59 on November 7th. If you get through the first video and you don't like it, just let us know. We'll give you a refund. And if you have any questions, reach out to support@tradingmatrix.com, and we are here to help you. So there's a couple questions. I'll take those. There's one question that says, do you know a lot of traders that are able to generate 5-to-1 winners with some consistency? Yes. Yes, there are traders that can do that. So the issue is going to come down to one, you've got to be able to understand your target. Can you generate a realistic target? A lot of traders don't have a target, so they can't even get to the 5-to-1 discussion. So how are you going to generate a target that creates your reward to risk ratio? That's one thing. And then two, when you get to that, can you be disciplined enough to wait for just those trades? As I was saying in the video, a lot of times what happens is people, they get antsy and they just want to trade. Like they want action. They want to go. And so like, well, this trade I can make an R. I'll go do this one. And it never goes as well as you think. There's always slippage. There's always factors that come up. And then you go and you're looking for 1R in this trade and 1R in this trade and 1R in this trade. And at the end of the day, you sit down and look and you're like, I spent all day trading and I made $100. And you feel, this feeling comes over you that you just wasted your whole day. You wasted a day in your life. Like, oh my gosh, I could have been getting a lot of other things done than sitting here the whole day staring at this screen, making $100. It's because we're choosing mediocre trades. Trades just aren't good. You'll find that you can find these trades that generate 5R or more, and then you don't have to be in front of the screen all the time. You can get them on, and then you can get away from the screen. And that's a big thing that we talk about. As you can see, there's that section in the mashup. We don't want to be in front of the screen. Every time we come to the screen, we want to come with a purpose. Why are you there? Get your purpose done and get the hell out of there. That will make a big difference. Hopefully that helps. Okay, any other questions? All right. I appreciate you sharing this evening with me to go through this. I would ask that you like this video. And if you like what we're doing on YouTube, I would ask that you share it, that you get this out to more people. I would really appreciate that. And I would have you continue to watch, what day's today? Yeah, it's Tuesday. And it's not just any Tuesday. Yeah, it's Trader Tip Tuesday. On Trader Tip Tuesday, I always come to you with tips like today that help you take your performance to an elite level. So I'll see you next Tuesday, and I would appreciate it if you share it with other people so they can come as well. God bless everybody. We'll see you. Take care.